Hello, my name is Chris Pyland, and I'm doing my final project for Linguistics 15 for the spring semester of 2015 on Chapter 11, which is nonverbal communication in linguistics. So, Chapter 11, linguistics textbook. So, nonverbal communication is communication that is not conducted through physical verbal speech and is not conducted through physical sign language that would represent verbal speech, such as ASL or American Sign Language. So there's a few studies amongst nonverbal communication. One is kinesics, which is the study of body movement to convey meaning. And the other one is proxemics, which is the study of the use of space humans use when talking about or trying to convey matters that they're talking about, which is different from culture to culture and person to person. So in this lesson of kinesics, there's a few very interesting tangible aspects that you can lock onto when looking at nonverbal communication. So one would be emblems. So emblems would be as close as you can get to a sign language without actually being a sign language. It's still considered a nonverbal communication. So, for example, if I do this, you all know that I'm saying things are okay. If I do this, you all know that I'm saying thumbs up, things are great. Right? There's a few other ones I can throw up there, but that's basically what that means. So emblems are cool. Regulators would be the next thing. Regulators happen amongst two people trying to communicate with each other that are taking turns communicating. So if one person's talking, the other person might be looking at them very intently and maybe nodding their head while they're listening to the person talking, symbolizing that they understand what he's saying and they would like him to continue and complete his point that he's trying to make. Or, and this is different from culture, between culture to culture, they might look away. And in the United States, looking away is considered rude. It's almost passive-aggressive. You're not really focusing, even though you might be listening to them, you're not really focusing on them, so thus you're not really focusing on what they have to say, and it's considered very rude in the U.S., which is not the case in other countries, but we'll get to that in a minute. So next you would have adapters. So adapters are things people do when trying to make themselves feel better in a situation of possibly high stress or happiness. And adapters are actually seen by both people in a conversation, not just the person themselves trying to make themselves feel better, so, or make themselves cope with the situation. So if you're giving an example of this would be if you're giving a speech and you start scratching your neck like I've done in this video already. It makes you feel better, it maybe takes some of the strain off what you're thinking about. Everyone can see that, and so everybody knows that that's an adapter. You might give off the feeling that you're nervous. I've conducted interviews with people before where they blink constantly. They blink like 5 times more than normal constantly, or they'll move their eyebrows way too much. And that is a very, very obvious sign that they're nervous. And so it causes me, as the interviewer, to calm them down or, just talk normally with them and kind of, break the ice and relax things a bit. But anyway, those are adapters. So next big thing, this is a huge thing in nonverbal communication, is the gaze. So the gaze between people is extremely powerful. It can tell two people if they want to talk to each other just by gazing at each other. It can tell people if they don't want to talk to each other. It can convey meaning across large distances, and it can also be seen differently throughout different cultures, and this is what I was talking about earlier. So in the United States, if you don't directly look at somebody when they're talking, it's considered very rude. It's considered that you're not very interested, right? In Asia, it's not. It's considered, it's taught at a young age to the children that you do not look at people of authority directly in the eye, and that does not mean police officers at all. So I've been to Japan a few times, and what this means is that if you're, say, working for a company in Japan, in Tokyo, in Shimbashi, in the salaryman area, and you're a mail, you just got the job and you're a mailroom boy, and you have to deliver mail to the CEO of the company. When you deliver his mail, he's in a higher ranking position than you are, so you don't look at him directly in the eye. You would look down, give him his mail. You're having a full-on conversation with him. Nothing changes there, but you are not looking at him in the eye. So you are averting your gaze from him, which means you're recognizing that he's in a more powerful position than you. He's done a lot of work to get there, and you're not trying to stare him down and take that away from him, right? You're being very respectful. Okay, so to go along with that would be physical appearance, which is the next big thing about gaze. Physical appearance, or not about gaze, but about nonverbal communication. Physical appearance is extremely important in initially what people stereotype you as when they see you. So if I'm dressed like this, and a t-shirt, and I go to, say, the CEO of Honda and start talking to him about, serious design questions, I would be considered not really taking the entire situation seriously. But if I dress up in a suit and a tie and I'm very professional and I'm trying to mimic his culture and he sees that, I'm not looking at his eyes or something, that physical appearance of me dressed in the suit will automatically stereotype me in the same bracket as other professionals he's seen in that suit. So physical appearance is very important. And lastly, the physical environment you're in. So it turns out that if you're in rooms that are painted different colors, this may or may not affect how you feel, and it may or may not affect your IQ while you're in that room. And this is, I'm not making this up, it's in the book, it's right here. So it's apparently in yellow rooms, when tested, students can show a higher IQ than when in white and black painted rooms. Very interesting. And it's not just the color of the room, it's the objects within the room. So if you go into a blank, completely isolation chamber style room, there's not much going on, so not much is stimulating your mind. If you go into, say, an art gallery that has a bunch of, historical art pieces on the wall, it's seen as something that might even be a icebreaker among people that would normally commonly never talk to each other. So they have a common thing to relate to and talk about. And that's one more thing, paralanguage. So paralanguage is linked into communicating, but it's not part of the verbal communication. So if I start talking really loudly about one subject, I'm conveying to you that either I really want you to believe this, or that I'm being more hostile to try to get the message across. And the book describes paralinguistics as a few forms of this. So it's not just loud talking. They describe it as breathiness. I'm not sure if that's a word. Pretty sure it's not, but that's one of the things that they describe as paralinguistics. Giggling a lot, that's another thing. And basically everything that coincides with the way you're talking. So it's not you talking, it's what's part of it. It's like what kind of mood you're showing off while you're talking. It's kind of linked in there. So anyway, that would be Chapter 11 of Nonverbal Communication. I hope I did a very good job at explaining the very key points of that chapter and what nonverbal communication is about, both in the United States and in other countries. And I hope you guys have all had a fantastic year taking this class. I know I have. This is one of the best online classes I've ever taken. And I hope you guys have a great summer. So, bye.